are waiting for the race to get underway. Then ride lights go out now, and a bit of creeping from the second row, possibly by Tom Parker, keen to get on terms with David Hitchin then as they head down towards Richie's corner for the first time. It is the 54 car of Hitchin on the left-hand side of the picture that is going to have the advantage, I think, just about from Craigland as they turn into the first right-hander of the lap and head off up towards the Wilson hairpin for the first time in this 15-minute race. A great sight, these carts. Paul Clark making up ground there. He's up to second. He's up into the lead of the race as Craigland goes wide at Wilson hairpin.
Yeah, David Hitchin had already dropped back, so it's Paul Clark. Has he led a Locost race before? He's certainly been up there, but maybe leading for the first time. And after the experience in the Clio race, has that helped him out? Well, we've got a great big battle pack, as you'd expect in the early corners of the race. But we've had 3 different leaders already, and it's Paul Clark who heads the way. And the sun glistening off the cars as they go down into Agostini's. Hitchin back to second, I think he is, with Land in third, and then the rest turn their way through the hairpin. And this all bodes well, I think, here for a big slipstream in battle. The slipstream probably even stronger in these cars than what we just saw in Formula V.
Yeah, 1300cc cross-flow engines, the aerodynamics of the archetypal brick these things as well, and that makes for really good racing around this Snetterton 300 circuit. There we see the 50 car of Ian Hardy, 58 Bradley Horsnell as well involved in that, but it is Paul Clark. I would think he probably has led a race at some point. He's been in lead groups before, so I reckon at some point Paul Clark may well have led a race before, but he's not won one, he's not led all that often. It's a bit further back, we're watching the 27 and 7 cars do battle, 7 being Isaac Spires, who started towards the back of the grid, and Mark Rue as well. 3 abreast down into Brundle Nelson, and who's going to emerge in front? It is still Paul Clark. Craig Land in second, David Hitchin in third, and Martin West now getting himself up into 4th position, number 94, around the outside of David Martin he tries to go.
And he's done it, and Sean Brame is following him at Bombhole, which is pretty impressive, and he's done that as well. Tom Parker, who initially made a good start, he's dropped back, he's next in line, but it is Clarkey that leads as they come through Coram with Craigland chasing him, then Hitchin, then West, so there's a good bit of experience in this front group. And then a gap back to Sean Brame, who's there in 5th now after making that move, what we saw just a moment ago. The car's hopping over the curbs as they go through Murray's to complete the opening lap, and it's 2 by 2 across the line. A
10-second penalty for someone, I suspect, Tom Parker, who looked to be creeping a little bit. Yes, that's confirmed on our timing screen now as we watch the leaders arriving at Richie's in a completely different order. It's Craig Land now that he's had. Paul Clark's dropped back to 4th position, trying to work out the order of the 2 cars between them as well. Up to Wilson hairpin they go, so it's Land from West, is it, in 2nd place? Yes, it is in 2nd place, and then is it David Hitchin 3rd?
Yeah, so like you say, the tow, particularly on that part of the track from the slow Murray's corner down the straight, absolutely phenomenal. And if they stay like that for the whole race, you probably don't want to lead into the last corner. We've got more cars joining in the lead battle as one runs a little wide. Tom Parker, who's got the penalty, and Sean Brame joining in. The car that ran wide, I think, was Martin West, the former champ, and that has given David Hitchin a run, but unable to get through. Paul Clark comes around the outside of him, and he can't quite manage that at this stage, or can he? He's still on the outside line. He's got the momentum on the exit there, and he has gone back into 3rd, back ahead of David Hitchin, the driver who originally started from pole position in this race. So they turn their way into the right-hander, and this all allowing Craig Land to try and break the tow at this stage as they battle behind, quite possibly. We've seen Craig Land sort of a long way ahead of this pack during other races this season. Is he going to continue that here at Snetterton? And he was one of the drivers who did have a track limit violation earlier, so he's got to be aware of that as the cars go past the healthy spectator banks here at Snet.
Yeah, I think this might well allow Craig Land to get away a little bit, but the others, if that is the case, perhaps will gift it to him because they'll be battling with each other. Martin West is the one that's determined to bridge that gap again, isn't he? He's not really in a championship contention. It's his first race in Locost for this season, as Josh said. He's been focusing on the Mazda 7s with some success last time out as well. So he's going to take the fight here to Craig Land, if anyone does. Clark there in third, Hitchin fourth, Sean Brame in fifth, Tom Parker sixth on the road, but he's going to have that penalty to be added to his time at the end of the race. As there's a gap back then to the number 4 car, which is David Martin in 7th place, but he's got another big group behind him, including past race winner number 29 Jeff Peak.
And leaders across the line. The lead gap was only just over half a second, so Craig Land unable to break the toe, and perhaps having Martin West there in second position is helpful because he's very experienced, he knows how to win these races, he is a former champion himself. And as they go down towards the right-hander, that's not a low-cost engine you can hear in the background, as the top 6 cars all as one, then a gap back to about the next 6 or so. So great racing here from Locost. Again, Snetterton very much delivering today.
Yeah, and Rob Apsey there in the number 73 car, just getting into the 7th position, I think. He had a good result at Cadwell, I remember, last year. As we watch the leaders then head down towards Agostini. Paul Clark and David Hitchin alongside one another there, and Clark is ahead at the moment, and Brame is right behind Hitchin as well. Of course, it's Hitchin and Park that are disputing third place as things stand in the championship, although they'll clearly catch and pass Todd Bouch, who's not going to complete the balance of the season. But it's going to be Craig Land that is going to have a sort of 60-point lead in the championship. Well, he does at the moment, and he'll hope to extend that here.
Paul Clark's mudguard's rubbing on his tyre quite significantly, which is a real shame for him if that causes a problem. And you can see he's slowing, I think, a little bit coming out of the corner. There's Sean Brame, who set the fastest lap on the last lap, by the way. And yeah, that tyre rub is really slowing Paul Clark's straight line speed down. He's desperately, I think, trying to get rid of the mudguard, but what his concern would be if that punctures the tyre in.
Yeah, it's obviously rubbing quite seriously, isn't it? And it's causing him quite a bit of grief. He's not having a huge amount of luck, all in all. He's had some problems with his Clio as well today, and he's going to lose another position on the road here to Tom Parker as well. So he goes through. And Paul Clark looks like he's doing a drift demonstration or something with the amount of smoke that's pouring off that tyre now.
Yeah, and the leaders together. Martin West has re-caught Craig Land, I think, and the two of them with that bigger gap because of Paul Clark's misfortune. Wiggling the steering wheel, trying to get the mudguard to disappear. The concern would be if the mudguard goes under the tyre.
Which it's close to doing now, I think.
Yeah, he's not going to have much grooves left in that tyre either, is he, before the end? But the leader racing side by side. Martin West is nosing ahead as they go up towards Ritchie's. But he's done it. He's through as they start lap 4 of the race. So Martin West has got himself up ahead of Craig Land. It's like a few seasons ago, isn't it, when these two drivers battled for the championship. Sean Brame is third. He also towed his way up ahead of David Hitchin. They're only a second back, so if they work together, they could close the lead in 2 in, I think, Ian.
Yeah, so they are third and fourth, and Tom Park is fifth. Then there is quite a gap back now to, I think it's still, for the moment at least, Paul Clark in 6th position as the two leaders nose to tail then through Palmer and on to the straight past the Tyrrell's restaurant and towards the left-hander Agostini. Looks like Land might be lining something up. No, he ducks back into the toe of Martin West there. Sean Brame and David Hitchin not too far behind, so it is still really 4 cars for the lead here. Tom Parker a little bit on his own in 5th. He does have that 10-second penalty to be added to his time as well, of course, so it's just a question of how far ahead of the rest he can finish, as the leaders nose to tail as they head into Oggies once again.
Yeah, and Brame and Hitchin are there as well. Those two had not won races in Locost before, I don't believe, so that would be quite a thing if they could achieve that today. Sean Brame there in 3rd position. His best result this year has only been an 8, but he's right on the turn of the championship leader. Then David Hitchin, who's had a couple of podiums, he's there in 4th, and they're all going to dart out. They could be 4 abreast by the time they get under the bridge to break for Brundle. To the outside goes Hitchin. Through the middle comes Brame. That Craig Land has West to take the lead. West is going to lose another one possibly to Sean Brame, who gets 2nd. David Hitchin somehow didn't gain any positions in all of that, but it's Craig Land who's out front, and now he's got 2 corners to try and get away before we get more slipstream in action, Ian.
Yeah, so we have them going through the bomb hole now, so it is Craig Land leading, Sean Brame 2nd, Martin West 3rd, David Hitchin 4th, Tom Parker in 5th. I can see the meatball flag being prepared beneath us. That's likely for Paul Clark, just to see if Paul Clark is still creating a smoke screen. I can't see a smoky car in the background now, so it's either not there or the wheel arch has become dislodged and isn't fouling the tyre anymore. So up to the line, the leaders come again to complete lap number 4, and it is side by side for second here because it's Martin West and Sean Brame that were together. Now David Hitchin is the one looking for the lead on the inside. White lines as they go up. He has got up into second place there, though, on the road, and so Hitchin goes second. But it is still Craig Land.
Is it?
No, it's not still Craig Land. It's Sean Brame, isn't it, that's got the lead of the race? Oh, well, the three of them are second. Craig Land is back ahead. Hitchin third. West fourth. It's changing literally every corner, this, isn't it? Paul Clark did not come through that time.
Yeah, this is cracking stuff. So Sean Brame, who leads. Anything that Formula V can do, Locost can do better as they turn their way down the Tyrrell Straight towards Agostini. Yeah, Sean Brame's got a few car length advantage. I'm sure that won't last long. West and Hitchin are side by side. Tom Parker's got a good view of all this. He's there in what is 5th position, but may not finish there because of his jump start penalty, or out of position start as it may be classified. What are we on? Lap 5. We should have 2 to go at the end of this. And there's Paul Clark. He didn't make it back round in. What a shame.
Yeah, that's a real disappointment for Paul Clark. So shame for him. As we go back to this battle for the lead of the race, still being led by Sean Brame, then number 8. Another driver that's not done too much leading in his low-cost career, a long low-cost career in Sean's case. And he's got the advantage over Land and West and Hitchin here. There's then about 2.5 seconds back to Parker, and then about another 3 seconds back to Martin, who is 6th.
Well, Sean Brame may have been leading out of Williams by the end of the straight. He's not, and he's locking up on the inside. Martin West is locking up. West is off, I think. West is on the grass. He's going to shoot across the track in front of the leaders, and somehow he gets the car slowed down. He's trying to work out where he should reclaim his position. He's waving them through because he did lead as he came back on the road. It's Craig Land who is potentially got the best of that, although he had to be careful not to plough into Martin West, who's just let everybody else past. He wanted to be fair, I think, in all of that because he cut the corner, but that was quite a dicey moment. That has allowed Land to get away. Brame is second, third is West, fourth is Hitchin, fifth, just behind is Tom Parker, and then a gap back to David Martin, who's sixth. There's 2 laps to go, Ian.
Yeah, and yes, 2 laps and 3 minutes to go, so they'll have one more go after this as they go 3 wide into Riches once again. This is for second place. Looks like it's Hitchin that might know. It's West that goes into second, and Brame was leading down to 4th place now. And have we got a 5th car into all of this?
Yeah,
no,
Parker.
well, Parker's back in onto. Yeah, because he was 2.5 seconds behind. Now he's not really contending here because he's got this 10-second penalty for being out of position at the start, but he is at least making up places on the road here, which of course it could be crucial in the final classification.
Yeah, so he's probably going to drop to 11th, looking how close the next pack are. Oh, a big moment in front of the Hitchin. Is he going off? No, I don't think so. That was a big old slide he had going on. He's there in third. Can Martin West re-catch Craig Land? Probably, looking at the gap. Big outbreaking move from Sean Brame. That was a little bit too much, so he's locked up and run wide, and that really is going to give Tom Parker the chance to get through in the TSR car.
Certainly is. So a cracking race this we're having for the Yokohama Formula V Championship here on the Snetterton 3. What did I say? Yokohama Locost Championship. Here we are in the Snetterton 300 circuit as the number 8 car, Sean Brame, that was leading.
More dust being kicked up.
There is, but I don't think too much harm done. Some side-by-side action a little bit further back as well, trying to work out who's involved in that. Here's Rob Apsey. Now he's 8th at the moment, instead of Jeff Peake and Jack Linus. I think it's Brad Horsnell in the 58 car that is ahead of him as we watch the leader, Craig Land, turn into Brundle for the penultimate time in this race. He's got about 6 car lengths, I would say, something like that, over West in second. West certainly using all of the road and a bit more through the time. The opposite side of the circuit, though, is completely cut the corner on the inside on the previous lap, of course. He's in second, and Hitchin is third. West has got the fastest lap to his name as well, by the way, a 2:23.98. The only driver to break the 2:24 barrier. That record for these cars is a 2:21.04 for Matt Sherrington 10 years ago. So that time I don't think is going to be beaten. as the cars coming back onto the start and finish straight to start their penultimate lap.
Final lap for the
Indeed.
leader. So Craig Land is going to be passed. No, sorry, it's the second is going to be passed, isn't it? West is going to be passed a second from Hitchin, I reckon, by the time they get to Ritchie's. Although West is going to fight it out, perhaps, on the inside line. This is all giving a chance to Craig Land to keep the win. In a much harder fought race this than perhaps some of the other races have been this season, with many more cars involved, which is really good to see as a sort of a neutral viewer, because when it's sort of a two-car battle up front, it's much less interesting than what we've had today. But it is Land from West, from Hitchin, from Parker, from Brame. They turn into the left-hander at Palmer. Wide this time for West. So that's going to give David Hitchin the chance to get alongside. And I think this is really all going to play into the hands of race leader Craig Landian.
It looks like it, 'cause it's giving him a clean break at the front. Look how many lengths he's got now. They're all trying to be second, but Craig Land has got 10, 12 car lengths maybe as they head out of Agostini and up towards Hamilton for the 7th and final time in this race. It's Hitchin and then 94 West and 79 Parker. Next, and then Sean Brame is 5th on the road. Of course, Parker will have 10 seconds to be added to his time, which will drop him outside the top 10 as things stand.
Here's Craig Land into Williams. And surely he's got a big enough margin at this stage if he doesn't make any mistakes. But for the remaining podium positions, there's a question mark over how they will come through. David Hitchin, whose best result this year has been a third. Can he get second? He's in that position, but he's got Martin West making his low-cost return today in the tow. There are 3 cars that when you look like 2 there, they were so close to one another as they turned their way up towards Brundle. But Hitchin's held on. He had that good exit to the previous corners. He's been able to hang on to second position. Don't think he's been able to close in enough on the leader to challenge. We'll check on that now. I think Craig Land's got enough. Hitchin now in second. Then for third position, Martin West coming under pressure, but from the penalised Tom Parker.
So turning their way into Murray's for the final time then. It looks like Craig Land is going to win this yet again. He's had 2 wins already this season and a 5-second penalty for somebody. We'll work out who that is in a moment, but the checker flag goes out, so Craig Land takes the win then from in second place, number 54, David Hitchin. Third goes to number 94, Martin West. 4th on the road is number 79, Tom Parker. 5th is number 8, Sean Brame. 6th is number 4, David Martin. Then it's Bradley Horsnell, Jeff Peake, Jack Linus and Rob Apsey completing the top 10.